everyone. My name is Devayani. I have over 2 decades of experience working in the technology industry in product and engineering leadership roles. I have solved some very interesting problems across insurance and location technology domains and helped my startup clients in the renewable tech and cloud modernization industries. I like to work with products in all phases of the development lifecycle, starting from the ideation phase to the product launch. Here are the top 5 skills that I think every PM needs to possess to succeed in their roles. User centricity or user empathy. Knowing what your users want is very important for a product manager to design products that address the customer's pain points. This has a direct impact on how well the product is adopted by your users and helps define how successful you are as a product manager. Next, I think, is problem-solving skills and strategic thinking. This is pretty related to the first one that I talked about. How well you understand what the problem is and how effective is the solution that you come up with has a very strong impact on the product success. But equally important is how strategically you have thought about the problem space. Not only knowing what your users want today, but being able to understand how the user needs will evolve over time, and also correlating this with what is the technological capability in the current time, and trying to extrapolate as to how technology is going to influence how the future solutions will be for the current problem at hand. Next is storytelling. Product managers have to be amazing storytellers. Why? Because storytelling is a very powerful tool in the PM's arsenal to help the users connect the value proposition of the product to how it helps them solve their burning need. The other area where the storytelling skills come in very handy is when the product managers are trying to get buy-in from the internal stakeholders, be it getting the business case approved or to get the budget and resources sanctioned for the product needs. Next is stakeholder management. Product managers typically work with a diverse set of stakeholders that come with various different backgrounds and different motivations of their own. Product managers need to understand these motivations, need to be able to speak to these stakeholders in a language that they can understand so that the product can have a smooth journey. The fifth skill that a product manager needs to cultivate is leadership skills. They need to have clarity in thought and be able to articulate and share this clarity in terms of a well-articulated product vision with their team. They need to guide and inspire their team and also make sure that they minimize, if not eliminate, the distractions for the team. They need to have a strong personality to say no when the requests that are being sent their way are not aligned with the product's main objectives or goals. They also need to have influencing skills and unblock the team to make sure that the team is able to keep making progress towards the product's most important goals. Now, when we look at the challenges that product managers typically face in their roles, product managers operate in very dynamic environments. They are in a state of flux when it comes to changing customer demands, rapidly evolving technology landscapes, evolving business needs. And they need to have a very delicate balance to also complement this with what competition is doing and making sure that their product decisions are catering to all of these ever-evolving factors. Next is prioritization. Now, one could argue that prioritization is a key skill that every product manager needs to have. I agree, but it's easier said than done. With multiple stakeholders coming to the product managers with requests that may have competing priorities, it becomes extremely complex for a product manager to set the right priorities for the product team. The third challenge that I typically see product managers struggle with is the need for speed, the rush to get to market. While it is important for getting real validation from the field on your product idea, on the first version of your product, often the compromise happens in terms of doing enough user research upfront or market analysis. The risk of making a poor first impression for the product is very real, and product managers working in startup ecosystems are all too familiar with this. When I think about product managers working in startup spaces, the other typical challenge that they struggle with is operating within the constraints. These constraints are not only related to constraints related to resources or budget, but also one often overlooked or underestimated constraint is related to processes. In the early stages of the product, it is completely okay to operate with no processes or a very, very lightweight process framework. But as you look to mature your product or scale the product, it becomes extremely challenging to operate with no processes. If you found this interesting and would like to connect with me about a particular product problem that you're trying to solve, or you would like to know about transitioning into a career in product management, feel free to reach out to me and I would be happy to chat. Thank you.